All right, hi everyone. My name is Albert, and today my slide presentation is going to be on process building muscle. Now, a lot of people like to oversimplify it, kind of dumb it down. Like three simple things would be your proper warm up, your proper workout, and your eating, drinking all your protein. However, there's more intricate details that goes into the process of building muscle. So, to start, first thing you got to do is go to the gym. And when you go to the gym, there's certain things you got to follow. You got to do your warm ups. For warm ups, definitely 5 to 10 minutes of cardio. You know, that could be elliptical, that could be treadmill, any sort of exercise that you like to do. Get your heart rate going a little bit, get your body sweating, kind of loosen up your muscles a little bit. So after you get your cardio in and your muscles are loosened up, you want to go into your stretches, stretch every muscle group that you're working that day. You know, so if it's like your legs, you want quads, hamstrings, calves, stuff like that. You know, and then once you have all that, once you have all your muscles stretched out, sorry, you want to definitely roll it out, kind of like tenderize the muscle. It's just kind of furthering your safety, so you're not pulling anything while you're lifting, you're not tearing anything. Um, Now, when you start to actually get into your lift, your main lift of the day, you don't want to go straight to a working set. You definitely want to warm up to that set. And to warm up to that, you want to do 2 to 3 warm up sets. Now, what this entails is kind of a low weight, high rep set number one, and then a second set with a little bit higher weight, a little bit lower reps. And then, so at this point, you can either decide if you want to, if you're warmed up enough, you can get into your actual working set, or maybe you want to do like a third warm up set just to get just a little better warmed up and be safe about it. I always recommend doing the third warm up set. That's what I always do. Um, um, so what you're really doing when you're actually in the gym is you're tearing down the muscle fibers inside of your muscle. Like when performing an exercise, the muscle you're using can only be pulling motion. So as something pulls apart, it tends to like separate and create little tears, little micro tears. Um, so those tears are created because of the tension from your muscles pulling on each other, and that's the first step is when you're tearing down your muscles. But you don't want to be all willy nilly about it. You need to make sure it's a controlled tear. And to do that, there's 3 different ways that you can work out through different repetitions, different weights, and all that. So now this next side is so talking to you about the 3 different types of working out that I mentioned in the previous slide. You know, you got to get either stronger, bigger, and leaner. You can now you can do like 2 at a time, right? So, but general rules for getting stronger, you definitely want to have like a lower rep range, somewhere around 5 to 8 reps. And at this point, you're gonna because you're not exerting a lot of energy on doing a lot of reps, you're able to put more energy into the power that you push, which gives you the ability to do higher weight. So that's why you want to do a higher weight with a lower rep range, and focus on like the explosive movement. So when you're doing like I would say bench press, for example, once it's down at your chest, you want to get that explosive movement off your chest. Same thing with a squat. When you're going down and you are what's called being in the hole, when you're fully squatted down and you want to stand back up, you need to shoot back up on your feet, and that's the explosive movement you'd be working on there. Yeah, so that would be strength training that creates like a denser muscle, I guess you could call it. Um, Now, just if you want to focus not just on strength, but on building overall size, mainly for your physique. If you want to build your physique, this is more for like bodybuilders, whereas the first one would be more for like powerlifters. You want to do a little bit of higher rep range. This is a 8 to 12 rep range, and the focus on this would be the hypertrophy. Now, the hypertrophy would be consisting of the time under tension, so you'd want to do a lot slower movements, way a lot more controlled, um, and then that puts strain on the muscle for a longer period of time, which includes the actual time it takes to do the rep on top of the time it takes to do the entire set, which is again a little bit more repetitions than the repetition range for being stronger. And that is how you build more so like the size of your muscle. And so when it comes to being leaner, you definitely want like a much higher, almost cardio, much higher rep range to pretty much almost be doing cardio exercises. Um, and because you're doing a lot of a lot of reps, you're not going to be able to have that power to do a lot of weight. So you'd want to pick like a light weight, and for a rep range of anything 15 and above, um, any rep range 15 or above, I would say you'd be working more towards like the athletic build, kind of like the leaner, like endurance based lifting. And so those are three main types of lifting to control the tears in your body and have different outcomes for it. Now, after your workout, you definitely need to replenish properly. You want to get all your carbs, your proteins, your amino acids, all that stuff. So you need your proper nutrients. All forms of macronutrients provide nutrition for your body to repair. So the fats absorb vitamins and support brain health. So that's why you'll have supplements like fish oil um, to to give you that extra fat to help you absorb all the micronutrients in, let's say, your vegetables, your fruits, your proteins, your carbs, all of that. Um, and so your carbs is what you want for your main energy source. That's why a lot of people do focus on their carb intake, especially after a workout, because after a workout, you use up all your energy from the carbs you've already had, which gets rid of your glycogen storages, which is the carbs that give you energy. So you want to replenish that. Um, And if you've ever had a workout where you felt kind of like a little more flat than you normally would, that's because your glycogen storages have been depleted. And by replenishing them, you'd want to eat more carbs, especially after a workout would be a great time, but definitely still throughout the day. And then your protein is what breaks down when your muscles tear in order to rebuild those tears through a process called protein synthesis, and that's what helps build that strength and that muscle size, that the lean muscle tissue back whenever you do tear it down after a workout. Now, after you've worked out, you have all your proper nutrients. Biggest part is the healing, because a lot of people don't understand that after you go to the gym and you tear down your muscles, that's not where the muscles are being built. The muscles are being built from the time you are taking to take a step away from the gym and relax and let your muscles heal. Um, so this is everything you're doing outside of the gym. Making sure you're eating properly, like I've said in the previous slide, allowing your body to rest. So rest time is typically 3 days for a muscle group. So if you're hitting chest on like a Monday, then you don't want to hit chest again until like a Thursday. And so while you're resting your chest, you can still hit other exercises, but your chest needs to be resting for at least 2 to 3 days. um, so you still want to be doing your cardio pretty much every day, because cardio can never hurt you. And so what that does is it allows your metabolism to stay in like tip top shape, and it's cardio is also helpful for your heart, help you live a longer life, a healthier life, and you still want to be stretching every day, because if you stretch while you're at the gym, before and after, which is great, which is what you're supposed to do, you could still get sore, tense up more, and you could still be prone to some injuries if you're not stretching like on a daily basis. Now, another way to help, kind of like an add-on, and this is for like more intense athletes, is like a hot and cold therapy. So, like maybe saunas and ice baths. I know I like to do ice baths, so I don't really have access to a sauna. So, taking an ice bath would heal all the inflammation, and sauna would help loosen up your muscles. And so on top of all the proper nutrients, dieting, resting, training, supplements definitely help your performance in and outside of the gym. Everyone needs a good diet, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So supplements take place when diet is lacking. So that's like multivitamins to give you all your micronutrients that could be lacking in your diet. Supplements also enhance your ability to perform and recover. So if you're taking like creatine, for example, creatine absorbs water into the muscle, helps you recover faster, gives you more leaner, more stronger muscle mass. And then basic supplements are protein powder, creatine, BCAAs, and pre-workout. So what do all these supplements do really? So the pre-workout you definitely want to take before a workout, hence its name, pre-workout. That gives you kind of push past your um, energy to push past all your lifts, even when you're tired. BCAAs also do the same thing. They're essential nutrients that have your energy longer lasting. The protein powder aids in your diet, so you definitely need all your protein to have protein synthesis. Creatine, like I mentioned before, absorbs water into your muscles, enhances recovery, also has cognitive benefits for your brain function. This is my site sorted.